Okay, welcome to learning module number 9's Test Yourself. As always, once you get past this slide, you'll need to advance the slides on your own. So we know that liquidity is very important. Take a look at these 4 types of investment vehicles and determine which one is most liquid and which one is least liquid. So generally speaking, a money market fund is going to be one of the most liquid opportunities that we have for investment. It's almost just like a checking account, although it usually does have a higher percentage rate or higher interest rate, Stocks, generally speaking, it's pretty easy to sell a stock a couple days and the money should be in your account. T-bills are usually going to have a shorter window for being redeemed. They are the most liquid of the U.S. Treasury securities. Certificate of deposits, it is possible that there are 1-month CDs and 2-month CDs, but generally speaking, they are 6 months, 1 year, 2 years, things like that. So it's not a hard and fast rule, but generally speaking, this is how I would order them. Okay, now let's look at safety and place these investment vehicles in order from the absolute safest to the most risky. Backed by the United States government, so generally speaking, our T-bills, our Treasury bills, are going to be the most safe. The U.S. government, generally speaking, is not considered at risk for default. Muni bonds, again, it's a very safe vehicle, but it is possible, as we saw with the city of Detroit and a couple other cities in Michigan, that occasionally municipalities do file for bankruptcy, and sometimes bondholders don't have their bonds satisfied. So it is possible that you could lose your principal, although not likely. And then we get into 2 types of mutual funds, or 2 types of equity. So mutual funds, not a mutual money market account, but mutual funds is a group of stock as opposed to just general stock in General Motors or one company. So if you go back to when we talked about risk, it's always risky to hold just one company as opposed to a mutual fund, which is stocks that are pooled together and you buy the pool of stocks as opposed to just one single stock. Okay, now take a look at the following scenario and try to determine how much you should plan to invest this year and what types of vehicles you might want to choose, whether they're short-term or long-term, in terms of the cash flow that your organization is expecting to see. Okay, so this is a complicated one. At the beginning of the year, we actually have $15,000 to invest because we have $50,000 in the bank and we're only required to have $35,000. And looking at the cash flow forecast for the year, we're expecting an increase in cash. So I wouldn't feel bad at all about investing that $15,000 probably in a long-term investment because I'm not going to have any need for it this year unless something, catastrophic happens. After Q1, I've got an additional $55,000, but looking ahead, and this is where the cash flow forecasting gets so critical, I'm actually going to need $20,000 of it to make up for the loss in Q2 and to keep me at that $35,000 level that I have to have in the bank or in my checking account. So basically, I can afford to put out $35,000 into a long-term investment if I wanted to. Again, I don't have any additional need for funds this year, so I would choose probably a long-term investment strategy, although I'd want to see what Q1 of next year look like as well. After Q3, I am going to have an extra $10,000 theoretically to invest, but I'm going to want to be cautious because Q4 is pretty close to being break even. So if something doesn't go right, maybe there's a timing issue, I could be in danger of falling below that $35,000 that I'm required to have in the bank if I invest all $10,000. So if I do choose to invest, however, I'm definitely going to choose a short-term instrument with very easy liquidity. I'm probably just going to put it in, a money market account with low interest, safety in this term, or with this one. So that's everything that I've got for investments. When you're ready, you can go on if you have any questions and post them on the question board.